And welcome back, everybody. This is the same airport that we left off at in the previous episode. We are in Reno, Nevada, and today we're going to be hopping on a quick flight using the 737 MAX. In this case, it's the MAX 8 from Reno on down to San Francisco. So it's about 1 hour, 10 minutes. Winds here in Reno are out of the northeast at 7 knots, gusting to 18 knots. Visibility is 10 statute miles. Clouds, partly cloudy. The very, very few clouds that you see here, very, very few, at about 8,000 feet. And temperature is 21 Celsius, so feeling pretty good. And barometric pressure 29.99 inches of mercury. So that is what we are doing, and like I said, let's do a quick walk around, and we'll be underway. We just have to do a couple things, checking the. We don't have to do it in depth because the airplane has already been flown today. So we are going to look, not going to look up into the wheel well. The reason we're not going to do that, even though we should, the simulator, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, once you look up inside the wheel well, you cannot get out. Sometimes. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can, and I don't want to, since I'm doing a video here, I don't want to jeopardize that chance. So anyway, there's the inlet for APU. APU is running nicely. And there's our outflow valve for pressurization right there. Walk backwards here. Okay. Vertical stab looks good. Horizontal stab looks good on both sides. I already checked the other side, the wing, and the wing here. Well, the catering truck is temporarily welded to the wing, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Microsoft has a lot to fix. All right, there's our brand new GE engine. Make sure the spinner looks good. A little brief piece of trivia. What do you think the spiral painted on the spinner, if you will, in the middle? What do you think that white spiral line is for? I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it, and then I'll give you the answer. All right, 10 seconds is up, and hopefully, no, you're not. It's not for purposes of hypnotizing people. It's I actually learned this from a captain at American, and I said I didn't know that. I'll be darned. It is supposedly it is there to help keep birds away from flying into the engine. At least that's what he said. So if that's not right, let me know, and I'll be sure and let him know. But anyway, here we are. So there's a max 8. I should say 8 max in this case. Tire pressure. I think I already looked at the tires on here. Front tires, no strut. Yep, it's good. Tires are good. Okay. E-tops. Extended twin operations, which it is known for. Alright. And passengers are already on board. It is a full flight. So let's go to San Francisco. And we naturally jump in just like that. Alright, checklist. Let's see here. Yep, we did all that. We checked that, we checked it, we checked everything. And we checked flaps, rudder, and elevator. Everything looked good. Nothing there. Let's go ahead and, before we go any farther, yes, we did all of this as well. All that's been set. Like I said, I pre-flighted the airplane before doing the walk around. So, trim air, that's all on. Hydraulic pumps are off. Because we are ready to do the pre-flight for the airplane, but we gotta get the flight computer programmed in. And this is where this is what a lot of people like to see. So I thought I'd save it. Alright, we are gonna be on the let me pull up the flight plan that we need to have. And if you're wondering what flight plan I'm using or where did I get it, I simply got it from FlightAware, using the latest flight to go from Reno to San Francisco. So I've got it pulled up now, and let's plug it in. I already have the origin and destination plugged in. Departure and arrival page. We're going to be doing the P-Vines 5, which oh, there it is. Didn't see it the first time. Do the Kurds transition, and we will be using runway 35 left route, and then we also, because since the flight is so short, the departure actually ends up running into the arrival, if you will. Meaning, here's what I mean by that. We do not need to select any waypoints in between. We can simply select the arrival at San Francisco. In this case, it's the Bodega 4. And it's the entry point, also known as a transition, is the legs transition. And like always, well, I should say almost like always, we will be landing on 28 right, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Alright, and let me just double check that real quick on something else here. I want to make sure that we're not going to be running into any traffic if we do the 25 right. It's just that's what they almost always they almost always give you that. Just looking for the here we go. What I'm doing is I'm simply looking at flight aware and just looking at 28 right. And what are we going to be coming in on? Eddie? Is that the... Let's come back into the sim. Eddie? And we'll do Eddie. Because this arrival brings us around downtown San Francisco. So let's go ahead and go with that for now. Let me just double check the route on that. Yeah, that should work. 28 right. Add a transition after coming in on the Bodega 4 arrival. So now all we have to do is route, and you'll see what I mean when I said that the departure runs into the arrival. As you can see, we have the P-5 arrival on our left side of the FMC. Vectors, meaning once we get to that point, so we're going to move that up right now. We're going to move legs, but we're going to put that up here. Doesn't like that, does it? Delete this one here. Activate and execute. Alright, performance and initialization. Cruise altitude, flight level 280. Okay. And the wind's aloft. Microsoft license 2024. I'm going to leave that blank, and here's why. I just checked, and the winds are at the airports, in this case Reno and San Francisco, completely disagree with not only FlightAware but everybody else. Don't know why, but they do. So I'm just going to leave that blank. I know that's not what we normally do. We're not supposed to do it, but I don't want to enter something in that we're being in other words, I don't want to put in information that isn't quite accurate. So our zero fuel weight today is going to be 162.9, which is what our zero fuel weight is. I don't know why it's acting like that. Go back here. Total mass 185.7. Okay. Let's see if that is what it wants. This is the, as you know, yeah, it doesn't like that number either. As you know, this is the 737 Max. It comes with Microsoft license 2024. So errors like this are to be expected, unfortunately. So we're going to have our reserve set to 8,500 pounds. And hopefully one of these days either they can actually fix the amount of things that are wrong with these aircraft that come with the sim, or hopefully we don't wait so long that some developer like PMDG, which makes outstanding payware, comes out, and we don't have to rely on Microsoft and or Asobo to fix what is wrong with it. Like here's a big one. The going to standby, the ISFD, the standby attitude indicator, it actually, let's see if we can get to switch over to 2992, 2999. Checking that. Alright. Anyway, as we were saying here, we're going to be using the wind. My apologies. The atmosphere here in Reno, 4,400 feet above sea level. The atmosphere is a little thin. It's a little thin, so we're going to be utilizing flaps, and we are a little heavy. Flaps 5 is what we're going to be using. And hopefully it gets center of gravity right. It did, but it didn't give us the trim data. That's just 23%. I've learned to ignore things of that nature. Alright, runway degree. Okay. It's 3.5. Let me look at that real quick. Because what you want to do, you never ever want to depart 347 is what our departure is going to be. Okay. 347. And the wind is roughly 7 knots, as I read it to you just a little while ago. Let's just double check that, because FlightAware had just updated itself. 11 now. Alright, so winds are now 10 at 11. Altimeter is still 2999. Okay, that's good. So we do have new weather. Hopefully the sim downloaded the correct weather. So at any rate, we're going to plug that in. But before we do, we're going to plug in 11 knots instead of 7. Now the VNAV speeds, the VNAV, V speed should be calculated by now. And they're not. Interesting. Very interesting. VNAVs are not there. They should be. They're supposed to be. Let's go through. That's very, very bizarre. And it's all because of the zero fuel weight. It doesn't like any of them. It doesn't like the number that it. Let me have it generate its own number. 162.9. It doesn't like that. Zero fuel weight. Why doesn't it like it again? 162. What doesn't it like? I should say 162.9. It doesn't like that. Let's make it an even 170,000. See what it thinks about that. Does it like that? Nope, it does not. Let's try 185 then. I know that's a big leap, but hopefully it'll like something. Something tells me it isn't gonna like anything we input. 145. Well, we know it's heavier than that, but okay. Should have our V speeds. We don't. Huh. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Menu. Let's go back into the main page. Key not active. What? FMC. Wow, they have really messed this thing up, haven't they? Look at that. I can't even get back into that. Well, I can do it. Now I can. Oh, now the V-speeds are up. They're magically there. Look at that. They've magically appeared. Yep, they definitely need to get some things sorted out. That's pretty bad. 155 is our safe speed. And we'll set this for 347. That's the runway heading. Go ahead and turn on our flight directors. Both sides. And the other thing that doesn't work is the transponder. You cannot plug in a frequency. See that? 3507 hypothetically. It doesn't do anything. The ident button, I don't know if that works or not because I haven't flown on VATSIM with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Okay, that works. That works to an extent. The actual handles are supposed to light up and they didn't, so. And the parking brake light doesn't light up either. Okay. Does it give us a trim setting? It does not. Alright, we're going to do it ourselves. 4.5, somewhere in that regime. That's really bad though. It's supposed to give us trim, and it's also supposed to give us our V-speeds right off the bat, and it did not. Alright, dry. Let's make sure all this is good to go. 3, 4, 7. Yeah, that's right. Dry and not gonna get into runway slope, and here's why. There are certain airports, I don't know if this is one of them. I tried taking off in the Boeing 787-10 in Newark. I was going to do a transatlantic. For those that want to see how to program transatlantic modern day FMC, halfway down the runway, the airplane ran into a little bump, and it didn't like one of the indications in the takeoff reference page, and it also didn't like the physical bump, which is where you get the runway slope in the first place. And it just landing gear malfunction. Nothing more, nothing less. The airplane came to a stop and I couldn't move it, so I'm gonna leave that alone until they fix the simulator in that regard as well. We should be good to go now. Everything's set. There's nothing lacking. Yeah, there's nothing more that we can do. It is what it is, right? Roll with the punches. Alright. Let's go back. Go through the checklist. Flight directors are on. Off, throttle off is off. Landing gear, that is down. Speed brake, close. Engine, cut. Yeah, parking brake, set. Yaw damps on. I do believe. Let me double check that. Right here it is. Yeah. And good. And we're down to engine start. Alright. Yep, that's what we do. Alright, we are good to go for an engine start. And what we're going to do first, I'm going to turn on the fuel pumps. And the electric hydraulic pumps. That gets everything going here. Probes, pitot heat, etc. Those are on. I'm going to turn on the bleed air for engines, for both engines, as well as APU, but we're going to turn the packs off. Because if we don't, we do not have enough bleed air to start the engines. Alright, let's turn on anti-collision light, and let's push. Let's see what direction it takes us here. This will be interesting. If it takes us in the opposite direction. Let's see how well it does. Oh, looks like it's gonna point us in the right direction. That's good. One thing you will notice with the 737 MAX, for those of you that fly the NGs, as I do every once in a while, the engines on the MAX, they do take a little longer to start, which is normal because of the newer engine technology and all that. Alright. The wings are not supposed to bounce around that much. That's alright. Tug is gonna be on the way out. Good. Alright. Let's do engine start. I set the parking brake. And let's go ahead and start engine number 2. Should be ready to go here. So watch it on the FO side here. Alright. Alright, go ahead and introduce fuel into the right engine. Here comes the light off right there. And the other thing to keep in mind is when you're landing, if you've managed to reach the gate within just a couple minutes after landing, and you did definitely utilize the reverse thrust, before parking at the gate and shutting the engines down, they do want you to run the engines at idle for a minimum, I believe, of 2.5 minutes. And they do that for purposes of maintenance and the overall life of the engines themselves. Okay, engine start on the left engine now. Into rotation. 11, 12. And introduce fuel. There comes the light off right there. Yes, the engines do start up a little too fast for in comparison to reality, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay, progress and next page. I like to add the next page, page number 2 on the progress screen on the right FMC, because I can simply glance down and just look at what our headwind and overall wind component is. Alright, 2 good engine starts. Turn on the generators for both of them. Then we can turn off the APU. I don't need that. We can turn the packs on again. Auto on the valve there. APU is off. Taxi lights are on. We're going to leave turn. Both engine starts to continuous ignition for takeoff. Okay, everything else should be good to go. It is very good. And I already have, let's increase that to 150 just in case. 28,000 being plugged into the pressurization system as our cruising altitude, even though we're not going to be up there for that long. It doesn't matter, you still have to plug in whatever your cruise is going to be and have an accurate landing altitude as well. Everything else is good to go. So, flight director, I thought I turned both of them on already. Huh. Alright, good to go. Let's go through the checklist here. Engine start, we did all that. Yep, we did that. We did this. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We did all that as well. Yep. We did. Good. After start, generator, well, yeah, those are on. Yes, yes, yes. Engine bleeder, APU is off. APU master is off. Before taxi checklist. Flaps set for takeoff, taxi, set light switch to the auto position. So we were going to set flaps, so flaps are coming out to 5. Taxi auto position. Good. Got it and got that. Good. Before takeoff, just going down the lights, and we're going to be out there before you know it. We're going to turn, remember, if you're the pilot flying, you put the weather radar on your side. Make sure that the weather radar is running, which is right down here. Okay, game min, and the system is in test mode. We need to go to normal. Auto on radar mode, and then And on the right side, you always want the terrain to be displayed. So let's select terrain on that side. We'll expand that out a little bit. As you can see, we need to get climbing pretty quick. See if we can actually get our airport data up here for taxi. No, that does not work either. Alright. We will deal with it. Okay, let's begin to roll. We are good to go. Parking brakes. Okay. Released. And let's go. Let's begin to roll here a little bit. As you can see, the APU door is the APU intake door is closed. All right. And we'll go ahead and bring down the HUD. Technically, it's known as the HGS Heads-Up Guidance System. The airplane wants to go left a little bit. Don't know why. Anyway, make sure the VSD is on. See, does it work? Says it does. Let's see if it. Let's see what that does. No, that doesn't work. Sorry. It's supposed to give us a vertical. Our vertical situation display, and it does not. Alright. Making sure reverse takeoff is set for rejected takeoff, settling out of brake. That's good. What you're for those of you that fly smaller aircraft and you're aspiring to fly bigger and more complex aircraft, the one thing that you definitely see, look at that, the nose wants to go left like that. That is so strange. And there's no way that a gust of only 11 knots would do that. At any rate, there it goes again. For those of you aspiring to be to fly bigger aircraft, or if you are utilizing career mode in a Sim 2024, and you're wondering not technically since we're crossing, let me hang on a second. We're crossing a runway, landing lights, strobes come on. We're so close to our runway. We're just gonna leave those lights on. Checklist. Yep. All right. As I was saying, the the bigger the aircraft get as you go through training. If you're going through training in the career mode setting of this sim, you will notice that the bigger the aircraft is, the more you're going to rely on checklists, which is a good thing. Checklists are very, very good. Some aircraft have checklists that don't make any sense. You're going to figure that one out pretty quickly. Yesterday, or was it the day before, I did a brief little video on flying from Lake Tahoe up here to Reno in the Cessna 404 Titan. And in the Cessna 404's checklist and whatnot, there's certain things that simply don't make sense. And you'll eventually figure out how to ignore them. So, almost out. Look at that. The nose just wants to whiplash to the left like that. Don't know why. Really don't know why. There it goes again. Alright, here we are. And no traffic, so we would say in real life. Reno traffic, this is Boeing 738 Mike Alpha, departing runway 35 left, straight out departure to the west. Reno traffic. Alright. Here we go. Let's see if the auto throttle handles the takeoff setting, or if it does not. Nope, there's no way for me to do that. Unless I hit N1, then it might go to takeoff for us. Nope. Alright. That, the toga button should work at a minimum, and it doesn't. So we're gonna go ahead and set takeoff thrust ourselves. No problem. No problem at all. Let's go for it. Make it stabilize at about 50%. N1. Okay, we got two good engines. And right there is our takeoff thrust. Bumpy runway. V1 rotate. Landing gear malfunction right here. That is so bizarre. That is just very bizarre. I have no idea what that sensor reaction says. That's your V1. You have to take the issue with you into the air. That's V1 means you're committed to takeoff. Period. Is anything wrong with the gear physically? I should say visually. Let's leave the gear down for a while. Let's turn on the autopilot. And let's just go to LNAV. And tell it to go to 220 knots on a level change mode while we figure out what is the deal with the landing gear. We do a master caution. Why do we have one? What does it say over there? Air conditioning. What's wrong with the air conditioning system? Yeah, the bleeds are off. What if we reset the trip reset? Recycle the bleeds. Huh. I don't know what's wrong with it. I have no idea. Hmm. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like right there. Both banks set to auto, isolation valve is auto, and bleed air is auto is on. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Let's get the flaps up to 1. That's the landing gear. I do not know what's wrong with it. The anti-skid, that needs to go to off. I mean the anti-skid, the auto brake goes off. Alright.
1,000.
We do need to be climbing a lot faster than this. For some reason we're not.
500.
Yeah, something is
400.
not right here. But according to our terrain display, we are well above any terrain. Yeah, we are just not climbing flaps up all the way, please. Let's see, what is wrong with the landing gear? I don't see any damage at all. Nose gear looks fine. Why are we not turning? That's my question. Huh. That's bizarre. Okay, let's figure this out real quick here. Yeah. So go there. Okay. Alright, let's get the landing gear up. See if the landing gear goes up. Landing gear malfunction. I don't know why or what, but and it doesn't want to turn, does it? That is very, very bizarre. Let's do it again. Yeah, Microsoft, Asobo, you boys need to get your stuff in order. Alright, I have a suspicion as to what's wrong. Let's go to this, heading select, let's go left. Let's get the airplane's nose. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. It's not flying correctly whatsoever. Why that got set up for 200 knots, I will never know. See, 280. Alright, let's continue to turn manually. Let's tell it to go direct. To our departure fix here. Let's see if we can quasi-manipulate the autopilot to do what it's supposed to do. Okay. We should. Like I said, I would have rejected the takeoff, but we had already reached V1. Alright. Let's go to LNAV. Let's see if it does what it is supposed to do. Let's go to VNAV now. It's acting like it's going to work. That's what I thought. Alright. Well, the old saying, you learn something new every day. That is very, very true. Alright, so everybody, if you're flying the MAX, Microsoft license 2024, and, and instead for LNAV directly off the runway, it's supposed to begin to turn, especially if you're flying out of airports like Atlanta, for example. You better be pointing at your next navigational fix immediately. Otherwise, LNAV apparently will not turn on. So you need to have your nose pointed directly at the next navigational fix, and then it'll go there. With regard to LNAV on your autopilot. Alright, so this airplane has more issues than I thought it did. Alright. It's almost making it feel like flying a Cessna 404 is far more fun to fly than these airliners that Microsoft and or Asobo got together and programmed, because not impressed so far. Not impressed. The next aircraft I'm going to be trying out is going to be the A380 by fly-by-wire. I fully understand that it is a work in progress, but at least they say that, and they don't make you pay for it, unlike Microsoft here with this 737 Max. Yeah, disappointed. It doesn't work nearly the way that it should. Let's see if we can get that brightened up. Flying in the sun, can't see much. About 10,000 feet, approaching. Since taxi is automated, we'll leave it on. We can turn off continuous ignition. Let's see what the cruise speed has in store. VNAV climb is 0.79. Oh well. Hopefully we'll get there. Let's see what it says about our cruise speed. 310. We'll see about that. We will see about that. Huh. Very strange. Alright. We're above 18,000 feet. Altimeters go to standard and or 2.92 inches, which obviously this thing needs to go to. Okay, standard on the right side. Yep. And standard set to the side. Good. So we've got some kind of landing gear malfunction on takeoff with both 737 MAX as well as the 787-10. We've got, let's see, what other items do we have here that simply don't work? Transponder. The transponder code, you cannot input the code into it. It just doesn't work. Landing gear, it also comes on whenever you raise or lower the landing gear. See, it just doesn't work at all. That's just bizarre. It is turned on. It is set to the proper position. TRA. Yeah, nothing. I don't know what to tell you. Alright. As you can see, we're getting pretty close to San Francisco. Alright, let's look for runway 11170. You do have to manually input the iOS frequency into both nav radios, nav 1 and nav 2. 11170 in both. And then we'll go back and look at the landing gear and figure out what in the world is wrong with this aircraft. 11170 on this. And you also input that into the other navigation radio, nav2. They're both in. What is a course on 283? Alright. Even though they auto-tune, I don't trust this airplane, so I'm going to do it manually. 283. On both sides, 283. Like I said, we're not going to be at 28,000 for long. Now here's something else that I find really, really bizarre. It's saying that the air temperature outside, at least on the skin of the airplane, is only 1 below 0 Celsius. Seems a little on the warm side for 23,000 feet, but alright. So what else did we figure out that doesn't work? Well, I don't know if the traffic would work, to be honest with you. I mean, again, I hate to be repetitive, but as I said before, I'm not gonna fly on VATSIM until I'm not gonna try to fly on VATSIM with Microsoft license in 2024 until they fix bugs. This landing gear malfunction bug that continues to happen. Or at least it's happened with 787 before. And a transponder that doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, that right there makes it impossible to fly on VATSIM. So, might stick with the smaller aircraft for a while, like the Cessna 404. If you look at that episode, which is the one previous to this one, that is a wonderful aircraft. It handles very, very well once you get it off the ground. I mean, it handles great. Things worked within reason. I'll put it that way. In the cockpit, yeah, everything worked as it should. Well, everything worked within reason, and it was just a solid airplane to fly. A lot of fun too. So, flying low level and not just sitting back and letting the autopilot do everything for you. Yeah, why the air conditioning caution comes on. I have no idea. It bleed. I don't know why it doesn't like this. It's on, which is what they're supposed to be. The both packs are on auto. The isolation valve is in auto. I mean, the trip reset in the real aircraft, the trip reset, that would do the trick. But as you can see, it says not available. So I don't know how else to fix it. It shouldn't happen in the first place. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Let's see, let's go ahead and grab the altimeter setting in San Francisco. Let's just get that out of the way. Got a little early, but I'll go ahead and I will remember to look at it here when we get closer to the airport. $1,000 to go. 2990. Now, will this allow us to put it into the standby box or not? Oh, it does. In a way, it does. I guess it doesn't. No, if you look at the PFD under standard, which is located under the speed tape, the altitude tape, it does not want to go below 29.91. It'll go above that. Alright, well, we'll leave it. And once we get below 18,000, then maybe it'll allow us to go to what we need it to go to. Alright, let's look at the arrival here. Approach, ref, auto, okay. That's good. Alright, let's look at the, 0.76. Let's just see if it'll go a little quicker. That's alright, we don't need to go any faster because we have an airplane that has a potential problem with landing gear. And believe me, Reno is not an airport that you would want to return to immediately because, again, the landing gear issue, it doesn't tell me what it is. It's just a bug within the sim itself. It isn't a bug that has to do with the integrity of the aircraft or the aircraft system. It's just a bug. As I mentioned before, it happened to me on the 787 before, and so this is not the first time. So yeah, I again don't know what to tell you. I do hope that is one of the line items on the we need to fix this on the upcoming update. I would really hope that it would. Feel free to utilize this video to report it because you've got it on tape. All right. Let's go back to it. Let's go ahead and just choose the speed for this. We're gonna be landing. Let's see, what are the winds in San Francisco? Winds are 310 at 15 knots, so we don't need 40. We'll do flaps 30. And so that'll be 149, so VRAF plus 5, so our approach speed will be 154. And let's go into our lace page. Make sure that we're gonna be, we need to make some decisions here. Alright, let's do, because we do need to fly south a ways to circle back into the airport. Yeah, let's just do 280 on the speed. at flight level 280 for a pile. That's why doesn't it like that? What's wrong with that? Does it want to have 000 in there? Is that what it wants? No. I don't know what it wants. That's bizarre. That should work. It is supposed to work that way. Does it want flight level? Don't tell me it wants flight level 280. I don't know what it wants. I really don't. Sorry. Does it just want 280? No. Does it want 28,000? Nope. Huh. Well, uh, I don't know what to tell you, everybody. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, this aircraft has some serious issues. Wow, that's a shame. Why would they release? If you think of it, why would they release something with so many blatant in your in your face blatant problems? I don't understand. In the real 737, here's what you would do. You would go speed 280 knots indicated, and you'd go forward slash, and you would enter 280, and it would accept it. It would not say invalid entry. I just don't understand. Does it want? Will it take 24,000 now? I mean, is that what it wants? It will take that. Alright, well, we're not going to be able to make that, but, we will, but it'll begin to but it might begin to overspeed. Because when I flew the 787, it's a very, very, the way they designed it, they being Boeing, Asobo, it's a very, very, very slippery aircraft. It's very difficult to slow down. And, yeah, but that's what the that's what speed brakes are for. Let's go to the next one. I'm gonna guess 23,000, that's just too high for that point in that phase of flight. So we're gonna go to 280 at 190. 280 slash 190. Beginning our descent. Does this work? It does. Alright. Alright. Bring our, let's see here. Descent checklist, descent altitude. Well, that's, yeah, we're waiting on that. Okay. We'll do auto brakes 2. We don't need any more than that. Let's look outside for a bit. That's a nice, that is a nice view. Yeah, you do need to appreciate that. Yeah, just like with other aircraft in 2024, it's the auto throttle has difficulties keeping a certain speed. It's just up and down, up and down. You can hear that. There's the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, you can see San Francisco Bay there off the left side of the airplane. Well, left side off. Yeah, to the aircraft's 10 o'clock. You can see the inner part of the bay, so to speak. Yeah. All right. So it looks all right. Yeah, the reflection on the wing, that's interesting. Let's see what else looks good here. Looks good. The scenery, it is impressive. It looks pretty pretty real. Let's look down. Yeah, it looks good. Stay out of the Staying out of the jet washer. All right, is it descending again? It's supposed to be descending. All right. VNAV does not seem to work all that good, does it? Oh no, my fault. Oh, I made a big mistake. Sorry. This one's on me. I did not. That was my mistake. Sorry about that. Let's take it all the way down to 10,000. Yeah, 6,500 for that matter. Let's begin to descend manually for a while. And let's make it descend at 2,100 feet per minute. That mistake is on me, everybody. My apologies. Too busy trying to troubleshoot an issue that's impossible to troubleshoot and looking outside for a little while. So that one is on me. Alright, we need to be able to see the autopilot, the various windows, and or the MCP if you want to be more specific. The sunlight, it just takes it almost all the way out. So the knob for that is right up here. It's turned all the way up. Main panel, technically, no. Okay, the auto flight direct, let's see if that helps out at all. No, it does not. What about the main panel? Is that gonna do anything? Nope. What about the background lights? Does that help out? No. I can read it, it's just not that great. Okay, you need to be crossing Laza at about 16,000 minimum. 14,000. Okay. That's alright, we'll get down low pretty quick. We're gonna go ahead and activate speed brakes. Now that is interesting. I just deployed them, right? Let me decrease the speed here. We want 240 on the speed. Let's go to 50. Help us get down there faster. Alright. Yeah, the speed brakes are up, but the actual lever is not. So, go figure with that. I mean, this says speed brakes hold lock to go down, and they're down, but they're actually up. So I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Very, very strange. That's just, it's another, when you think that that's another glitch that any any beta testing team would have caught, would have immediately caught right off the bat. All right, 250. Where are we on the descent schedule here? 250, 250, 250. 11,000 is what is where we're going to be for a little while. And then on down to 4 and then 3. So let's go down to 3,000. Alright, vectors after. Let's see where we got vectors here. Vectors and then eddy. I thought I said to go to. Yeah. Eddy is what we want. So eddy's at 6. Or eddy's actually at 6,000. Yeah. Okay. So let's readjust this for 6. And we can slow the airplane down even more because we do not want to overshoot those. The other thing that the aircraft is missing on the PFD is the vertical profile. We do not have one. So what that does, the vertical profile, that is where it gives you a little. It's where the glide slope is located on the PFD, but also it's supposed to show up on the navigation display as well, and it is not doing that. All right, what is the barometric pressure in San Francisco? One last check. 2990. Okay. That is there. Let's make sure it's here as well. Increase this so that we can actually see it. 2990. There we go. And then we're going to go direct eddy. As soon as we get down, we need to get crossing eddy at 6,000 bricks, and then eddy at 6. All right. All right. Just trying to make some, just doing a few calculations in my mind. Is this the vectors part? That's what I thought. Let's go direct eddy, execute that. What I think we're going to do, I don't know why the camera jumped like that. Every once in a while the camera just has a muscle spasm. Alright, what we're going to do is bring this over. So our altitude and all that, it's just not going to function all that well. We're going to go over to eddy mode. And we're going to slow her down to 230. Our speed brake, oh that's right. You know what, let me look at our assistance page up here. Up it shows that we've got spoilers are up. Huh. But the lever is all the way down. If anyone can attempt to explain that one, I would appreciate it. I really would. Let's go and turn on the lights. So landing lights are up. Everybody else. wing light, no, not necessary. Logo, well, yeah, it's fine. And turn on our continuous ignition for both engines, so the igniter plugs continue to snap away. If you don't know what I'm talking about, kind of think of, if you will, about the spark plug in your car or lawnmower. Kind of think that way. I just said, kind of think that way. We're well below 250, so we're clear to go below 10,000 feet. And we're going to make a manual turn back as soon as we get down to 6,000 and our speed is under control. And again, I take full responsibility for being off on the vertical navigation, but we are going to right the ship, so to speak, by crossing eddy at or above. I'm sorry, at or below 6. We do need to come down. The airplane does want to slow down, which is unusual for this kind of aircraft. Let's just come in a little more. That way, once we get past eddy, I'll make the turn nice and wide, so that we'll be intercepting the localizer right on time. It is picking up both the glide slope and localizer already. If you look on BFD, you'll see. Let me zoom in for those of you watching on a mobile device. We add this little purple diamond on the bottom side of the artificial horizon. It's all the way to the right. That is the localizer. The purple diamond on the right. That is also, okay, as you can see, it's moving up and it's filled in. It isn't hollowed out like the localizer. That is the actual glide slope coming from the runway. Why it does that is just very frustrating. 240 then on the speed, please. The speed brakes are down. I mean, I put them down. Yeah. So why that happened? The buffers, the stall speed on the speed tape was way up, so I don't know what the issue is with this aircraft. I really don't. And now it's climbing. It isn't maintaining 6,000 feet. I don't understand what the issue is with this aircraft. It's one thing after another. It won't hold the altitude. It stalls when it shouldn't. And if you're saying, well, if you had your flaps set, that would not have happened. Well, we're too fast for flap extension. Now, is it going to hold on to 6,000 feet? Or is it going to begin to float? I was hoping this flight would be very enjoyable for you. And my apologies for the aircraft not functioning the way that it should, even though it's not my apology to make. Alright, let's go down to 4,000, and let's go to Sidby, which is the next fix. And we're obviously going to slow down. Let's say 220. Let's make that a big left turn we're talking about. I would love to have the LNAV function on the autopilot work, and I could whereby I could realistically tell it to go direct should be. But if you watched in the departure segment of this episode, you'll see that this aircraft has to be pointed at the nose of the aircraft has to literally be pointed at the navigation fix you want to go to, and then LNAV will work. If you're not pointed directly at it, LNAV does not work. And the airplane all of a sudden speeds up, even with the speed brake up. Speed brake coming off right now. Very, very strange. Goes fast and slow. It should not be able to decelerate or accelerate that fast. Unless it should only be able to accelerate quickly when the nose is down a significant margin. It should only be able to decelerate that quickly if the nose is up a considerable amount without a lot of thrust. And it does just the opposite in both cases. So, yeah, that is what it does. Alright. How do things look through the heads-up display? Not bad. Not bad. How do things look out here? It looks like it's foggy down towards Monterey Bay, which is very, very typical. I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach mode of the oh, it doesn't allow me to do that. Huh. Okay. Why? I don't know. It's supposed to allow me to do that. Interesting. Alright, let's go direct to Sibi now. Now that we're doing what we're supposed to do. We've been doing what we're supposed to do. We just had to. We're not even near stall speed. I don't understand why it's doing that. The flaps are up for a reason. We don't need flaps. We're not nearly slow enough to even need them. So why it's doing that, I honestly do not know. So here's what we're going to do. To make it happy, we're going to put flaps out to 1. And as you can see, we're not supposed to put flaps out to 1. So if we look at the speed tape, here's how we can tell that the aircraft is not functioning correctly. We're going to slow it all the way down to 180 because that runway is coming up awful fast. We're going to go direct to 7. Let's just do it. Let's just go direct to let's just intercept the localizer as quickly as we possibly can. The aircraft is functioning far too bizarre. Oh, by the way, we're going to do radio minimums at 350. It will cooperate with us. There. Will it arm the approach now? Yes, it will. I guess it needed both localizer and glide slope for it to arm itself. Yeah, so the stall warning is unrealistic. Just many, many things. Flash 5. Flash 5, please. last 5 set. Alright. Let's get the landing gear down and see what's gonna happen with that. We're probably gonna get another landing gear malfunction. Let's just see what happens. Yep. And again, I have no idea what the malfunction is. The aircraft operates just fine. We didn't blow any tires on takeoff because takeoff was uneventful. I have no idea. Okay. Flaps 10, please. Flaps 10 set. Alright, now what does it want our approach speed to be? 149, that's right, so 154. VREF, because always VREF, in this case is VREF plus 5. Lined up with the runway and picked up the glide slope. Flaps 15, please. Flaps 15 set. Flaps 25, please. And we are gonna arm the speed brakes. Armed. Yeah, all that's on approach. All that is on. Yep. Landing checklist. Well, that's to be yet to be determined. 154, please, on speed. I come in nice and slow, just for this aircraft. Nice and slow. Flaps 30, please. And we're gonna sync up the this approach to 85. Yeah, and if you're noticing the master caution light coming on and off,
2500.
Check. That has to do with the pack. There's something wrong with the packs. Although it's no longer an issue. So, go figure. Go figure. So let's see what it looks like here in landing configuration. Make sure everything looks right. Okay, good. Speed brakes are not up. That's a good thing. Landing gear is down. All the lights are on. Now landing, I don't know what's going to happen. This is landing gear malfunction. I have no idea what it is. The landing gear swings freely, so I don't know what the issue is. There we go, picking up the glide slope. Miss altitude is already in, 4,000 feet. Make sure the left parking brake is off. Auto brakes are set. And we are landing checklist. Okay, let's see what happens. The other thing to take into consideration is you want less and less fuel on board in this situation, so immediately turning around and landing at Reno would not have met that
1,000.
Would not have met that condition. Check 1,000 feet. We will allow the aircraft to auto land, which ought to be interesting.
500. Approaching minimums. 400.
Drifting too much to the right.
Minimums.
Landing.
300.
Pushing to the left.
200.
Yeah, it's struggling to maintain center line. That's a
100.
right. So here we go.
50. 40. 30.
Auto
20.
flare.
10.
There we go. Reverse. Auto brakes are off. Reverse thrust is off as well. Auto brakes are off. Let's turn off the disengage the autopilot completely. That's all hard disconnect instead of disengaging it on the yoke right there. Yeah, we're not moving now, are we? Stow speed brakes. Well, everybody, I don't know what to tell you. The aircraft has a lot of issues. The airplane is not wanting to move at all. It's acting as if the landing gear is acting as the parking brake is set. It is not. Huh. Yeah. Well, everybody, like I said, yeah, it's it's a bug, and I hope they fix it. Well, unfortunately, we didn't get to see what it's like to try taxi over here at San Francisco because it's my understanding that they did update the airport. Um, anyway, well, it is what it is. I hope you got something out of the video, and my apologies for the airplane not working correctly, but that's something to direct your frustrations out at Microsoft and or Asobo. So with that said, like I said, I hope you get something out of the video. It wasn't what I expected, to say the least. We're gonna give the the airliners that I actually know how to fly. We're gonna give a couple of them one more chance, and if they don't fix them, then I think we might just stick around with flying some of the smaller aircraft like the Cessna 404 or the PC-12 or whatever aircraft you would like to see. In fact, let's do this. I have an idea. Let's do this. In the comment section below, you tell me with regard to what aircraft are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, tell me specifically what aircraft you would like to see me fly next. Not an airliner, because they obviously have issues, in particular the 737 MAX. The next one I will do, like I said, I'm going to check out. I did tell you that I would check out the fly-by-wire A380. It is freeware, and from what I understand, it's pretty impressive for a piece of freeware. But outside of that fly-by-wire A380, tell me what you would like, and I will do a full, not just a review, but I will do a full tutorial on how to operate that aircraft. Alright? Well, that does it for this episode. And again, apologies for this not working out. If you, this is hard to say without laughing, but if you did like what you saw, if you did enjoy or got something out of this video today, please smash that thumbs up button and hit subscribe down below so we can begin to really grow out this adventure in flight simulation. And soon, weather permitting, fly fishing outdoors in the real world with me on camera showing you various techniques on depending on what fish we are going to be going after. So until then, take care and fly safe.